da ba do dum da ba do dum la 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 do da do dum da da dum da 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 da. It's like, what's going on there? It's like first it was one way, then it was slightly different. Anyways, hey everybody, and welcome to the Spotter Spots vlog. Today we're going to talk about that interesting chord you just heard. It's called the borrowed major 4 chord. That's heard in minor keys, like the keys these songs up here in. Alright, first of all, I want to say that this major 4 triad is a pretty common borrowed chord that's heard in minor. Around 26% of hit songs in minor keys use this chord type, written as a capital Roman numeral 4. For some perspective on that 26% number, in major keys, a major 4 chord is used in 90% of popular songs. And in blues rock supermode tonalities, it clocks in at about 87% usage. But yeah, that's enough of that for now. Check out the Spotter Stats vlog on chord usage if you want to geek out a little bit more on the factoids and statistics about how often people use those different chord types. Okay, as I mentioned a minute ago, this particular chord, used in minor keys, is what some people call a borrowed chord because you borrow it from a specific root key's diatonic chords taken from the major scale. You can see how that works if you look at the scale degrees of minor versus major. So here's all the notes you'd regularly use in a minor song relative to major. You'd be like 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So those are the minor scale tones. But in order to play our featured chord of the day, a major 4 chord, we have to use a major scale note, the raised, not flattest 6th scale degree. So all in all, we're going to have 4, which is the same in major or minor scales, and then the raised, not flatted, 6th from major, and then the first note of the scale, which again is the same for both major and minor scales. So yeah, just a one note difference. So yeah, here it is again in context of the chords. You got minor key, minor 4 chord, and then minor key, but here's the borrowed major 4. So like bam, borrow that relatively raised major 6th scale degree from the major scale, and voila, major 4 borrowed chord. Okay, that's enough of that. If you want to know more about borrowed chords, Google the term and you get loads more info. But for now, on to the good stuff. Let's check out how this chord type is used in 2 popular tunes. Alright, first up is Runaway Baby by Bruno Mars. Okay, you can sort of hear it implied in the riff, like this, it's like see what I'm doing is I'm playing the borrowed 4 underneath, and as you may or may not agree, it seems like it could belong there, So there's that to consider. But really, the first time you hear it in a concrete way and not in a made up in your head's own expectations way like I just did is 34 seconds into the song. In this chord progression. La 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 la. I mean, you really hear the lift, that major 6th scale degree that wasn't there before. Here colored in red on the board as opposed to the stuff's colored in green, which have the regular minor 6th scale degree. Chromatic step lower. Alright, Bruno Mars, very cool. But let's hear today's featured chord again in a more Disney/Broadway way. Alright, if you watched the Sinks vlog about Love is an Open Door from the movie Frozen I did a while ago, you already know how much I love Robert Lopez's genius EGOT-winning use of harmony. So yeah, in that song, he does the opposite. He uses a borrowed minor chord in a major key. But in the song Let It Go, from the same movie, he uses our borrowed major chord in a minor key. And it's not only that, but it's how he uses it itself. That's pretty cool. What I'm talking about is the setup. You may have already guessed that that little teaser at the beginning of this vlog was some kind of attempt to sound like the start of this song, Let It Go, where he ends his first phrase on a regular minor scales, minor 4 chord. Here, let me show you again. It's like la 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 la. Oh, by the way, if you want to hear it for realsies on the record, it happens, the regular minor 4 chord, at 8 seconds, 20, and 34 seconds into the song. But yeah, that's the setup, because every alternating time he plays the phrase, he switches that regular minor 4 we just heard to the borrowed major 4, giving your ear that little bit of a tweak. A tweak that's like enhanced because he already had established your expectation that's going to be that same regular minor chord from the earlier phrase. So now it sounds like this. La 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 la. It's like, oh, that's something different, you know? Or was it? And you're like, ooh, 3D snowflakes, you know? Anyways, that tweak can be heard at 13 seconds, 27 seconds, and 39 seconds into the song. So yeah, regular minor 4 chord and borrowed major 4 chord. Super slick. Hey, I know. Want to hear what Runaway Baby would sound like if it used the same trick? Like if it used a regular diatonic minor 4 chord first instead of just the borrowed one. Wait, this is going to be crazy. It's like la 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 la. I mean, it's like, I don't know, it almost makes like too sad, you know, like without the borrowed major 4 chord, it's just like not, you don't even like Bruno Mars anymore because like instead of like happy, fun, lovable, he's not a player, he just crushes a lot guy, like now he's like, you know, super sad, tragic player guy where everyone's heart gets broken. So yeah, anyways, that's my take on how you can get different results just by tweaking one little scale degree. Okay, though, we're not done yet. I have to quick mention how the borrowed major 4 chord type gives us shades of what the cool kids call the Dorian mode. The same thing that we've been doing this whole time is how you make a Dorian scale. You take a minor scale and you raise that 6th scale degree. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because if you don't hear any minor scale flat 6s in a song, it's going to be in full-on Dorian. And if it's in full-on Dorian, you can't call the major 4 chord in it a borrowed chord. But these last 2 examples, they do have lots of both flat 6s and the raised 6s. So they're not in like full-on Dorian, they just have shades of Dorian. All right, but before we go, other honorable mentions of minor songs with these major 4 Dorian-esque tweaky slick sounds are I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Norman Whitefield and Barrett Strong, and Breathe by Pink Floyd. So yeah, go see if you can hear the borrowed major 4s in those songs. And while you're at it, might as well stay on the lookout for the super happening chord type in the other music that you listen to. And if you spot it, let us know. And maybe you could even use the borrowed major 4 chord in your own compositions and songwriting. All right, thanks for hanging out with the tonaltrends.com music vlogs, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye. Run away, Princess Anna, don't you know that Prince is just a super sad, tragic player guy? You know he's the minor 4 chord. You should probably go out with that reindeer guy instead. He's the kind of guy who plays a major 4 chord that's happy. But the other guy has a minor 4 chord in his song. That's how you know he does not like you. He's no good for you, but the major guy's heart is true.